I've been using my Canon M50 for most of my photography and videos on this channel for the past year, 2020, and it turns out to be my main travel camera. I did a lot of street photography and landscape photography as well. So in this video guys, I will share to you my short and honest review in using this camera, so please stick around. What's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Hams. If you are new to my channel is all about photography, and I do some landscape and street photography vlogs, and I do bits of cinematic videos as well. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And okay, to begin with my review, I will just break down my review to three parts. First is on its handling and ergonomics of the camera, and second will be the shooting experience and some features that I love about this camera, and third will be the image quality or the photo quality. So I will just give my honest reviews, my opinion in using this camera. To start off, this camera is already given that it's very small and very light. Probably one of the lightest cameras mirrorless crop sensor out there in the market today. And what I love about its ergonomics first is this rubber grip. I really love the texture. It's not slippery, and with this L bracket installed, it really feels good in the hand. It's hold very firm. Even if you use larger lenses, it's still very comfortable. Another thing that I like on this camera is the flip out screen. It is very useful while filming yourself, while vlogging and sit down videos, because it allows you to see yourself while filming, if you're in the shot or not, or it's recording or not. But for me, for photography wise, I'd rather prefer the tilt up screen from the Sony and Fuji cameras, because I mostly shoot landscapes and street photography in lower angle composition. So I prefer the tilt up screen, but for the most part, I have no issue with, and I like the features of this Canon M50 flip out screen. Okay, there are a few things that I don't like about the handling and ergonomics about this camera, and first is the buttons. I mean, they are very tiny and recessed. You need to use your fingertips to press these buttons, especially the four-way directional keypad. I believe this has been improved with the Canon M6 Mark II camera, which has bigger and larger buttons. Second is the absence of the second dial. Sometimes it just frustrates me not able to use direct dial to change settings for both shutter speed or aperture directly, which I used to have with other cameras that I've owned before, like the Sony and the Fujifilm cameras. Even the Sony a6000 has the second dial that you can use to set up like shutter speed or aperture. But after using the camera for a few months, I just able to get to use the camera's limitations. One of the best function or feature about this Canon M50 is the touchscreen. I believe it's the best implementation amongst camera brands out there. I mean, it's really fast, smooth in using the touch function. I really love the touch to focus and the touch shutter. I use it a lot on my photography vlogs, especially on my street photography, and you can use as well the touch function in shooting in video mode. I mean, you can use it to track subjects, and it really performs quite well. So this is one of the function that I love about this camera. Okay, one of the best thing user experience wise about this camera is the autofocus. It's quite fast, accurate, and it can focus very well in low light situations. I've been using this in my night street photography videos, and I'm quite impressed with its autofocus during nighttime. I didn't find any hiccups, or sometimes it will hunt in very dark situations, and probably it also depends on the lens you're using. and overall the autofocus of this camera is really great. Another good thing on the Canon M50 is it allows you to adapt Canon EF lenses using an adapter. There are lots of brands of adapter, but what I have is the Canon EF-M mount adapter. I have used my Canon EF lenses like the Nifty 50 or the 70 to 200 mm lens with very good and accurate focusing. I shot portraits and few wildlife photography as well using the adapter, and the shooting experience is really good. Regarding the image output quality of this camera, I can say straight away that the JPEG, the raw files coming out from this camera is really nice. The color is very beautiful, especially if you do editing of your photos. You can get very high professional looking photos out of this camera. Actually, I took lots of landscape photos, some street photography photos, and few of those photos actually I sell in some of the photography online shops in the internet. Okay, talking about dynamic range on the Canon M50, I can say it is on the average side amongst the other cameras. It is not the best and it's certainly not the worst because during my experience in editing the raw files of this camera, if you crank up the shadows too high, you can see this color noise in the darker areas, and it's really bad. It's very hard to remove in Lightroom, so you must be very careful during your composition, especially you're shooting outdoors. You need to use some filters, and the Canon M50 is very easy to overexpose as well in the highlights, so you need some graduated ND filters as well to get a proper exposed photos. And for its high ISO quality performance, I would say it's very acceptable. In my shooting style, I'm not shooting at very high ISO setting like 12800. I think my max setting is more or less 6400 in my night street photography vlogs. I think my max setting is 6400 ISO, and I still get some really nice photos out of it. You just need some minimal noise reduction in Lightroom, and Canon M50 photo is still very acceptable. Overall guys, my experience in using this Canon 50 for the past year 2020 is really great. I took lots of photos, landscape, street photography photos out of this camera. Actually, my YouTube videos are mostly, I think 80% is using this camera. So if you ask me, I'm not upgrading. I'm still using this for this year. And if you are planning to buy your first camera for YouTube or to start up your photography, I would highly recommend to buy this camera or the Canon M50 Mark II, because the Mark II has a few incremental improvements and the price is just a bit difference only. So I hope you like this video guys on my review of the Canon M50. I hope it helps on your camera decision for this year, and don't forget to like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing and click the notification bell icon so that you will be notified on my next video. So until then, see you in my next video. Peace.